And let me get this recorded on the computer. Okay, our final lunch and learn of this reset, and I shouldn't say save the best for last because they've all been amazing, but you guys know how much I absolutely love Melanie and how much she has done for my own life and world. So I'm so excited to share some more of the magic from her. Look at everyone hopping in. I like it. Some of you are outside, got some sun on your face. So here, without further ado, we're going to go dive into some love language talk with Melanie, and she's going to share her screen. And then you want to do the presentation, and then we can do some question and answer at the end?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
And I'll just say this is a conversation, so please ask questions. You can interrupt me. I'm putting up a PowerPoint just so you guys can see the love languages as I go through them, so you don't have to try to remember them. So let me get my screen share going here.
Yeah, so unmute yourself. Again, this is an intimate group. We're all friends. It's all, so feel free to unmute yourself or type in the chat box, and I'm going to go on mute and hand it on over. Thank you all for joining.
So Rochelle, thank you so much for having me on again. I'm a life coach, a love coach, a business coach, a spiritual coach. And when Rochelle asked me to do another lunch and learn for you guys, of course I was thrilled. And my spirit immediately told me to talk about the love languages. And what's really interesting is when Rochelle and I planned this, the world was in a very different place than it is today. But I just find it like overwhelming that Spirit tells us ahead of time what we need to do to prepare for the moment. So I think having the love language conversation is super important right now because the world needs a lot of love. And in my business, my brand is bringing love to business. It's bringing love to couples. It's bringing love to families. It's bringing more love to parenting. So this is my jam. I love it. This book, The 5 Love Languages by Dr. Gary Chapman, I found so helpful to me in my relationship coaching. And when I started doing business coaching with teams of people, I realized very quickly one of the reasons people were not happy in their jobs is because they didn't feel appreciated or they didn't feel loved. So I created a game out of the 5 love languages, and I do a lot of presentations on it. And then I started doing this in businesses, right? And I thought I was like really cutting edge. I was really proud of myself. I was so excited. And then like a year later, Dr. Chapman came out with a book for the workplace called The 5 Languages of Appreciation, which is the same as the 5 languages of love. So the languages of love are really appreciation. It's really how do we show our love and appreciation for other people. And one of the things that I personally didn't realize before I read this book was that everyone receives love in their own way, right? So we tend to give our love language to the people that we love, and we just assume that they feel loved by us. But their love language could be completely different than our love language, and they don't feel loved by us. And in my couple work, I see that a lot. Like one person will not feel loved, but the other person's like, I'm loving you, I'm loving you, I'm loving you. But they're not receiving it because it's not their language. So today I want to go over the 5 languages of love so that you have all the tools in your toolbox to know how to communicate the 5 different languages to the people that you love, and to also identify your own so that you can communicate to the people that you love how you want to be loved. So there are 5 languages. I'm going to go through each one, and I'm going to break it down for you guys so that you can see how you can implement it in your life. And I'm going to tell you guys, this is for your spouses, your children, co-workers, siblings, parents. It works with everybody. So I'll break that down a little bit as I move forward for you guys as well. So let me see. So the first language of love is words of affirmation. And this one pretty much everyone uses. It's using your words, saying, I love you. I appreciate you. You're important to me. Literally just expressing that you love someone. I'll let you guys know that is my language of love. I tell everyone I love you because I do. I know how to immediately love people. I practice love. So when I meet someone, I'm like, oh my God, I love you. I just love you so much. And sometimes people are like, how do you love me? You just met me. I love you because you're a spirit, and that's how I love. And if I'm telling you I love you, I love you. So words of affirmation is pretty self-explanatory. Now this one, you guys, this is my husband. And I put my husband's picture here, and I'm going to tell you why. Because this is his language of love. Acts of service. Acts of service is his language of love. He will do for me. He will go get me a glass of water. He will bring me a blanket. He will pick up for me. He will move the laundry. And I always thought, wow, I have such a helpful husband. He is using his language of love on me. That's how he's expressing he loves me. He's not just doing it because he's a nice guy. He's showing me that he loves me. So interesting story. That's not my language of love. So when he's doing all this stuff, I'm like, great, whatever. Tell me you love me, baby. I don't need you to do anything for me. I'm a self-sufficient woman. Tell me. And we had to have that conversation that I need to hear it, but I recognize that he's giving me his language of love when he's doing things for me, right? But I also had to realize I have to do that back for him, and that's not natural to me. It's not normal for me to go, oh, let me do a bunch of stuff for you. I'm doing my own stuff. I'm busy. I'm not thinking about what I could do for him. I do what I do, right? So the way that I figured it out was really funny. We cooked dinner together a lot, and I noticed that he'll always, after we cook dinner, he'll go sit down. And I'm thinking, what in the heck? Why are you sitting down? Let's serve the plates. Let's get this party started, and let's get the dinner done so we can get our evening going or whatever we're doing, right? So one day, it just hit me. I was like, he wants me to serve him. He wants me to serve his plate. That's what makes him feel loved, and I'm not doing it. So I said, do you want me to serve your plate? And you guys, he turned into a little boy. He went, yes, please. Yes, please. And I was like, oh my goodness. All this doing is him showing me his language of love, and I didn't get it, and I wasn't giving it back. Literally, I'm going to tell you guys a secret. I can't remember everything. I'm not perfect. So I've written down at the end of the week to make sure that I have done some things for Anthony to make him feel loved. Make sure that I serve him a couple of times a week. Make sure that I bring him a blanket. I get him a glass of water, because those acts of service and doing are what make him feel loved. And I notice when I don't do it, like his energy shifts a little bit. And so I literally have it on my calendar to do every week. So that's number 2. Number 3, quality time. Some people just want your time, and your time makes them feel loved. And so maybe these are the people who will maybe get upset that you don't call them, right? You never call me. Sitting on the phone talking to someone requires some quality time, doesn't it? It requires some energy, some time. Time is a very valuable asset. It really is. It's a commodity in our world. But for some people, if they don't get your time and your attention, they don't feel loved. These are the friends and family members that want you to go to lunch with them or have breakfast with them. My husband also likes quality time. He wants to have coffee together. He wants to sit next to each other. He wants to go to happy hour together, just the two of us. He wants my time. I give my time to a lot of people. So quality time is a language of love for a lot of people. I didn't realize that. Interestingly enough, in the workplace, People, when their language of love is quality time, they want to be called into the office by the boss, and they want them to spend time. Tell them if they're doing a good job. Like, just call me in every once in a while, or take me to lunch, or spend some time with me at the end of the day. And it's such a simple thing, and it may not even seem like love to some people, but to other people, that's it. That's all you got to do with them, is spend time. I can tell you who my friends are that their love language is quality time, because they want to have like, they'll say, let's have a monthly lunch date. Do you know what a commitment a monthly lunch date is for me? It's a lot of time. But that's their way of saying, I love you and I want this time with you. It's number 3. Number 4, gifts. You know, this one, I don't know why, but a lot of people feel ashamed if this one is their love language. And I think it's because they don't want to be perceived as greedy or a taker. But for some people, just giving them a little something makes them feel loved. So here's another quick story. So one of my siblings was arguing with her adult daughter. And I asked her, I was like, why are you guys always arguing? And she said, because she's constantly asking me for stuff. And I feel used and taken advantage of. And she's always asking me, always asking me. And I said to her, I think her language of love is gifts. And she's trying to get you to give her the love language she wants, but you're perceiving it as disrespect. So people who have the language of love as gifts, it doesn't have to be diamond rings and $1 million. It could be a greeting card. It could be, I told my sister, when you go to Target, you know, pick up kitchen towels or something for her and send them to her in the mail. Like, it can be the littlest, smallest things, but it's the gesture. It's the gesture of taking the time to get me something and give it to me. And there's no shame in that. Everyone feels good when we get something nice or when we get a gift, right? So for some people, they have just been programmed in a way that giving and receiving feels more like love to them. They don't feel loved if they don't get it. I think, you guys, this is probably like, this was amazing to me. One time I had a couple and I was coaching them, and the wife said, my husband is not romantic. And he said, I'm very romantic. I buy you flowers every Friday. And I make a point to be romantic and I give you flowers. And she said, but you buy your mother flowers every Friday too. So it's not romantic. But his language of love was gifts, not his wife. And it really wasn't her language of love when she noticed that he was giving it to his mother too at the same time. So he didn't know that wasn't her language of love. Her language of love was quality time. She said, I'd rather go on a little weekend getaway with no flowers than get flowers every week. And so they learned they each had different love languages, and to her, a romance was a getaway from the kids and a hotel room and a bottle of champagne. But for him, it was flowers because it was a gift. That makes sense to you guys. And then this one, number 5, is physical touch. So that's a hug, hand holding, rubbing the shoulder of someone, just touching them. You know, a lot of times in couple work, I'll tell husbands, if you really want to communicate with your wife during a passionate debate, I don't like to say fights, I like to say passionate debate, touch her, just touch her. Just rub her arm, bring her back to the present, because you know us women, when we get upset, we go to the alternate reality, right? We're like, ah, we get out of our bodies. Just touching us brings us back. And so physical touch is really powerful. And when it comes to love, think of all the ways that we express our love through physical touch, right? Hugging each other, hand holding, making love, cuddling, kissing. Those are all physical touch languages of love. So one of the things that I've learned about these languages of love, and this has really helped me with my adult children, I've helped my sisters with their adult children, is recognizing how they want to be loved. It's great for our husbands. How do they want to be loved? We think we're loving them, but we're loving them our way, not their way. We have to figure this piece out. So that's the physical touch. So I'm going to tell you guys, and I would love to hear from you. I made a game out of this, and this is how you play the game. And you can play this in your families, your businesses, wherever you want to play it. Try to figure out the top 2 out of the 5 love languages of your family or your spouse or whoever you want to do. And try to guess it, and then see if you can guess it, and if you guess it right. You have to explain the 5 love languages to them. So when I play this in team meetings, these people work together 8 hours a day. It's a relationship. Most of them don't know what their coworkers' love language is until I teach them the 5 love languages, and they're like, oh, that makes all the sense in the world. This person's always bringing me coffee. That would be a gift, right? This person always wants to have lunch together, quality time. So you can figure it out by how the person loves you. So let me ask you, do you think you know your top 2 languages of love? Let's see, let's hear what you guys have to say.
And feel free.
I would say,
Go
ahead.
I could go first. And I would assume they shift in different seasons of life, right?
Yes. And in on a different day, it could be different.
Yeah. Mine definitely would be acts of service. Any and all help is much appreciated.
Right.
And then I would say quality time, which I think is my whole family has that one.
Okay.
But our other one would be different. My daughter definitely, and husband, as you know, words of affirmation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So.
Okay. So someone is asking me to recap number 5 again. Okay. So let me see. Physical touch. Number 5 is physical touch. So for some people, it's just a touch. It's just physical contact. And it can be so simple. It can be, like I said, hand holding. I see it in my, it's interesting. I have a 21-year-old daughter who lives at home, and she will literally come to me and say, I need a hug. I need a mama hug right now. I need it. She knows what she needs. She needs a hug to feel better. She needs that physical touch to feel loved. So it's hand holding, kissing, love making, a pat on the shoulder, a pat on the arm, all of that. So for some people, that just is like, oh, you're touching me, you love me. And one of the reasons, you guys, I wanted to talk about the 5 love languages is because as we're going through this pandemic with COVID and we're experiencing social distancing, some of the love languages are going to get lost. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Like physical touch. I'm gonna tell you, like, I am preparing myself right now for when I go back to work. What am I gonna do? I hug and kiss everybody. Like, I'm gonna have to social distance and say, I've already been doing air hug, I love you. But I'm gonna have to use my words more, my eyes. I'm gonna have to make sure that I pay attention when people need quality time. I'm gonna have to talk about quality time, because I'm not going to be able to use that physical touch, which is my love language, and which is going to be the love language for a lot of people. Does that make sense? So let me see here. Okay, so we got all of the love languages in the chat. Okay, so we have some people. So let's share, you guys. Let me see. let's see, Lindsay, you say yours are quality time and acts of service. What do you like most in quality time? What's your quality time, Lindsay? What is it like? Is it, I want lunch, I just want to, what is it for you? Tell us.
Basically everything you said that was quality time is what I would love to have with friends, lunch, but yeah, with the husband, that weekend getaway sounds like so incredible to me. Like,
nice.
Most perfect way to connect with him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so.
I love that. Okay, so you can combine the two, honey. You need a getaway with some physical touch, right?
Yeah, he's the physical touch, so that will help him.
All right. So did you know about the 5 love languages or before this?
Yeah, and I've really been kind of honing in lately on what my languages were and just really trying to figure that out. And so I'm pretty honed in on mine. I still kind of figure out my hubby's, but I think physical touch is definitely one of them.
Wonderful. And you know, you guys, this is a great conversation to have with husbands. You know, husbands are not always open to have like feeling conversations, but using the 5 love languages is a great conversation to have. And to just be like, hey, I heard about these 5 love languages. What do you think yours are? Like, that's a great discussion to have. And so sometimes it just helps our men go, holy cannoli, she's asking me what I want and what I need. This is my opportunity. And I've got 5 ways to express it. Yes, right? They want to get it in quick and easy, right? They want to tell us what they want really quickly. So this is a great way to help them to put it in and frame it in a way that we can understand it. And then we just got to remember it. That's the hard part. That's the hardest part, is remembering and then making sure we get that and we communicate our own. So let's see. Kelsey says gifts. Kelsey, I want to hear what kind of gifts make you happy. Tell me all about it, honey. I can't hear you. Unmute yourself.
All right, sorry.
It's also Kelsey's birthday, so happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, Kelsey.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My family's always been big on like at Christmas time. It's like tons of gifts. Birthdays are gifts. So like that's like me, I'm all about giving other people gifts. I'm about, you know, if I get gifts. My husband, not so much. He doesn't understand the gift thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. It's not his language.
Yeah. So yeah, that's sort of how the gift thing is.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. And she said something really important that we could all learn from. She recognizes that her love language came from her upbringing, from how her family did it. Gifts are big in her family. We learn our love language in childhood. And then as we grow up, we start adding to what feels right for us more and more. But a lot of what works for us is going to come from our upbringing. I came from a family of sisters that were really vocal about love. We said we love you all the time. So that's just the talking and using words of affirmation is just second nature to me. It's easy for me. And I find it so interesting when I go into families that don't say I love you and are uncomfortable with it. My husband's family, when I first met them, they never said I love you. When we're leaving, we say, bye, I love you. Hi, I love you. How's your day going? I love you. And they never said I love you when they would leave. My mother-in-law, the first time I grabbed her and hugged her and kissed her and said, bye, I love you, she was like, and now she knows me well enough after 30 years that she can say I love you to me. I've taught her to use words of affirmation. So I love that you know where the gifts come from. And there's nothing wrong with wanting gifts. It's a wonderful way to share your love. Oh, I love this one. Steph says, all 5 every day. God bless my husband. Share. I want to hear this, Steph. What is that man of yours doing over there? And what are you doing to get him to do it?
I almost, do you want to hear from him?
Yes, bring him in. Hello, honey.
We're talking about the 5 love languages: words of affirmation, acts of service, quality time, tangible gifts, physical touch. And Melanie asked what we had to identify our top 2 for ourselves. And I said all 5 for me. Like mine are all 5.
Yeah.
And then I wrote, God bless my husband. See, I wrote that just so you know.
Yeah.
I gave you props.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
She's affirming you. What would you say your top 2 love languages are, hubby?
5,
Physical touch.
Physical touch.
probably number 5.
Okay. This girl, Steph, touch him. Touch him, girl. He is letting
I
you
did.
know.
I have 2 children.
I'll go 2.
You are doing a great job.
5 and 2.
Very good.
Acts of service. Yes. I know him.
No, I didn't mean it like that. I didn't mean it like that. Oh my gosh.
No, I'm just saying. That's what I would have said his word too.
I love it. Thank you, guys. Thank you for sharing. That was awesome. You're the best. But do you see how that works, you guys? Like how we're giving ours, but it may not be the other person's. So it's so important to communicate this and to know our own language of love. Super important to know our own language of love. Let's see what else we got here. I love this. She's like, all 5, every day, all day long. It's awesome. Let's see. Anybody have physical touch dead last? Tell me, do stuff for me, and don't touch me. Who is that? Is that you, Sandra?
What?
Is that you? That's like
yes, my husband is like,
physical
is
touch
that you?
last.
We gotta talk.
I'm your twin. I'm your twin. You're not alone. Tell him you're not alone.
Isn't that funny?
The kids touch you out. You're overtouched by the children.
Yeah, moms get over it. And isn't that a slippery slope, you guys? Because you still have husbands and they still want to touch you and they want you to touch them a lot. And you're like, I don't want it. No. So you have to recognize, you got to do what I do, and you got to plan it. You got to be like, let me prepare myself to have some physical touch, because that's what's going to make my husband feel loved. And one of the hardest things is parenting and keeping your marriage strong at the same time, because the kids are sucking the life out of you, right? That's why you don't want to be touched. You ain't got nothing left to give. You're like, if you come over here, it is not going to be good, right? So I'll tell you, when it comes to that, I'll give you guys some advice. And I know you're doing this being in VFit with Rochelle. You have to fill your love cup with whatever it is that you need, so that you're so full. You're so full that it's overflowing, and you're giving to your families and your husbands from your overflow. So knowing your own love language is so important, because you have to give it to yourself a lot. Like a lot. My love language is words of affirmation, and boy, do I have to talk to myself a lot. And tell myself, I love you, Melanie, you're doing a great job. You're okay, you're doing it. Good job. What do you need now? Like, I have to fill up my love cup so much, because I'm sharing it with so many people. It's 4 o'clock. I've coached 6 people already today. So I'm giving. I have 3 adult children and a husband and a home and 3 businesses. I got to keep my love cup full. And you do that by knowing your own love language, and then taking some time, making some time to do it for yourself. I tell Rochelle all the time, when she needs quality time, go hide in the bathroom, lock the door. And say, leave me alone for 15 minutes. I got to fill my cup. I don't have anything for you guys. One of my favorite teachers, I love the way she says it. She says, think of yourself like a cup and a saucer. You have to fill your cup so much it overflows into the saucer, and then you love people from the saucer, never from the cup. That's how your cup gets drained. That's how you get empty, right? So when you know your love languages, you fill your cup with those love languages. Quality time. I love quality time, but I need quality time with Melanie. At least once a day, I go outside by myself for about 20 minutes and read, or sometimes I just sit, because I need that to keep myself in a place where I can help people. So what do you guys think? Are you gonna play this game with your families? Are you gonna play this game with yourself? Do you have any questions about it? Everybody's moving around.
I know. And Amy, did you want to? Did anyone else? Again, don't be. Sometimes it's just so good to.
Yeah, I can share. Yeah.
Share.
So my goal for 2020 was to work on my relationships in general. I don't really do New Year's resolutions, but I kind of do overall. So I read the books last year. I read the one for singles because I've been single for 10 years. And I read the one for children with my son. And just kind of started figuring out everyone's love language so I could approach it that way. It was really enlightening for me. And I've always known that physical touch and quality time are both like, that is my thing. Like I need both of those equally all the time.
Yeah.
And then I know my son's is get his gifts. And then his second is words of affirmation. I have to tell him he's doing a good job and all this stuff. And I think a lot of that comes from too, he's special needs and he really has a hard time in school. And he had a really hard start kindergarten, first grade. His teachers were not very nice. And so he really needed a lot of that to build him up. So just continuing with that. And then just looking at my parents, I knew my mom, I know hers is acts of service and gifts. That's what she does for people. So I anticipated that was probably her thing too. And she says, yes, I love for you to do stuff for me because I'm always doing stuff for everyone else and those kind of things. So it was really good for me to notice that and just kind of build our relationship with that too. So it's been super helpful. And then again, with this quarantine thing, like for me with the physical touch and quality time, it's been hard because I'm a single mom. We're living with my parents. I'm not working outside the home right now because I'm a wedding and event planner and we don't have any business. So last week we decided to go to Tucson and visit our friends because I needed that so badly. I couldn't take it anymore. And I needed that closeness and I needed physical hugs from them and I needed that quality time. And oh my God, for both me and my son. And it was like we came back different people. And I'm so glad we did it because we were in a very bad place just because we needed that so badly. So yeah, that's totally, I love doing it. So yeah.
Well, it sounds like filling your cup was you needed some hugs. You were depleted, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. I definitely just needed that quality time and just going to dinner at a real restaurant with, one of my old guy friends and getting a hug and having that conversation with another adult that's not my parents, and just, it was just like and now I'm like having this post-vacation depression because I'm home and I don't have that. And it's just we have the phone, but it's not the same. So,
it's not the same.
Yeah. But it was a full week of it. And it was so, oh my gosh, it was so amazing. Yeah.
So you need to have something on your calendar that you're going to get it again.
Yes, absolutely. We've already started planning. Yeah. We've started planning.
It's like creating light at the end of your tunnel, right? I'm not in the dark, stuck here forever. I'm going to get it again in a week or 2 weeks or a month or whatever. Just that in itself helps us to feel better.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. Thank you for sharing that. So how's it going with so you said your intention was to improve relationships in 2020. So you read the books.
Yes.
Has it changed how you interact with people and have you noticed that it's working for you?
Yeah, I have noticed it's working, and just kind of anticipating more their needs and like you said, it does shift. So maybe anticipating what it's shifting with all the stuff that's going on in the world. And that's hard too. I was anticipating doing this in a normal year, right? And then to take on all this other stuff that's going on, I had to shift a little bit of the way I'm doing it. But yeah, just noticing like I have a good friend that hers is also little gifts. So I'll just send her little things in the mail occasionally and things like that because we can't really see each other and it's hard. So yeah.
And you know what else I noticed that's interesting about the 5 languages is because I coach a lot of people and people share with me, the things that bother them. And I noticed a lot of times people are upset at other people for not treating them the way that they would treat them. You've heard that before, like, I wouldn't do that and I wouldn't treat you like that and I wouldn't do that, but we're not the same person. So there's this assumption that other people are going to treat us the way we want to be treated. but they cannot unless we can communicate to them
Yeah, and
exactly
I used to get
what it
frustrated.
is.
Yeah, and I used to get frustrated with them. Like, I just want your time, and you're not responding to me, and now I'm mad. But then I realized, but they don't get that because that's not their love language. That's mine, and I need to tell them. And then once I did, it was just shifted. It was different. But I used to get mad all the time, and then once I read all that, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, well that makes sense. So.
Yeah, I mean, down to like, we have to recognize that the story we tell that they should know, or they're gonna know, or they can figure it out, that is a lie. That is never gonna be true. There are no mind readers in any relationships. And what happens is we think they're gonna figure it out because I'm doing it. They're seeing me do it, so they're gonna say, oh, I should do that too. That doesn't happen. We have to say it, we have to show them. Years ago, I've been married for about 30 years. And when I first started dating my husband, one day I was sad and I would cry and he would leave. He would literally physically leave the house. He'd say, I'll be back. And I'd be like, what the heck? So I'd just be like, whatever. So he kept doing it. So one day I was upset about something, I was crying, and he said, I'll be back. And I was like, why are you leaving when I'm crying? And he's like, because you want privacy in your space, right? No, I want a hug. I want a hug. I want you to hold me. I want you to pat me. And I want you to say, woo, woo, woo. That's what I want. And he was like, what? He was like, no, wait. Where I come from, when someone's upset, you give them space. I was like, not where I come from. I want a hug, a pat, and a woo-woo. So he says, okay, I'll try. I said, thank you, I appreciate that. So the next time I got upset, I saw him. He was eyeing the door. He was like, I gotta go. And then he looks at me, he's like, oh yeah, okay, wait, okay. My husband is a 6'5", African-American, huge guy. And he has a very deep voice, he's from Brooklyn. So he comes up to me, he's like, oh yeah. Woo, 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 woo. And I just cracked up, I just laughed. And I said, you never have to woo-woo again, but thank you for the hug. And I appreciate you trying. But what I learned from that exchange is I just thought he was being a jerk and not giving me the love that I needed when I needed it. But he didn't know how to do it. He didn't have the same life experience I had. The woo 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 came from my older sister would always baby me and hug me and pat me and say woo woo woo. And that always made me feel better. There's no way he could have known that I needed a woo woo, right? But here I was mad at him for not woo wooing me. So sometimes it's hard to get past our own belief that love is this natural, easy thing that everyone shares and experiences exactly the same. It is not true. We do not experience it the same. And I think the 5 languages of love is a great way to at least start the conversation and to create some context for the people that we love so that we ensure we're giving them what they need and we also ensure we're getting what we need. It's just a conversation, and it's okay for us to ask for what we want, and it's okay to ask the people that we love what they want and need. And I think that if we could do more of that in this world and actually listen instead of saying, no, love is not physical touch. Love is quality time. That's what it is for you, but it's physical touch for me. And be able to hear each other, I think we could spread a lot more love. So I hope this has been helpful to you guys. Any questions, comments, concerns?
Two more questions. Do you want to ask it, Linda, or do you want me to ask it?
Oh, there's a whole bunch of messages I didn't see. Okay.
No, two more questions.
Okay, give them to me,
right.
Rochelle.
All right, I'll ask
Okay.
it. So first of all, Melanie, I'm Linda. I realized my boss got me this book and I've never read it. So
Awesome! You have it. You're attracting it, Linda.
Yeah. Okay. So now I've got to read it.
Yes.
But so my better half, who teaches at VFit, so everyone has to keep this to themselves. Whenever I have a problem, he often tries to solve it by offering me money, right? You know, so say we had to cancel my family's trip to Cape Cod, and you know we're going to lose our deposit. He's like, "Oh, I can help. I'm like, I don't need your money, right? But he likes, and what's hilarious is his dad does that to him and it frustrates the heck out of him. So I'm just curious if you can help me unpack that.
Yes. So in a way, that's kind of like he's using the gifts, right? Mm-hmm. But the gift that was given in his childhood was money.
Right.
That's probably the most valuable gift in their mind. No right or wrong, no judgment, observation. So when he offers that, that's the highest probably value thing that he thinks that he could do. Some people think just throw some money at it, it'll take care of the problem.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Yeah. What's interesting is for him, the money doesn't matter to him. He wants words and validation from his dad, and his dad only gives him money. And so it's interesting to me to see him follow in his dad's footsteps and not do what he wants. It's interesting.
So it's learned behavior.
Yeah.
And that's what happens, you guys. This is amazing to me. One or two things happens. We either duplicate and repeat our family of origin behavior, or we do the opposite. Mm-hmm. It's very rare we're in the middle. We're either, yep, we're doing it just like that, or we're like, nope, no, thank you, I'm doing the opposite, right? Yep. Mm-hmm. And so it sounds like he's got some split energy. He's doing a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Does he also use his words with you?
Yeah, but I think giving is more comfortable to him. Words are more difficult.
Yeah. So he needs, are words comfortable for you?
Oh yeah, too comfortable for me, according to him.
Well, I'll tell you this, one of the things that's amazing about marriage, we attract partners that, how do I say it? We attract partners that have what we don't have, so that we can become more balanced, right? So you're really good with words. He struggles with words. He can learn about words from you. Mm-hmm. You can probably learn more about not using words from him, and you can balance each other. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when he offers the money in the future, say, babe, tell me your words. Tell me you love me. Offer me love. Offer me love words right now. It's okay if it's uncomfortable. We're both going to get really good at this. Let's practice together. And just get him to start doing it, and tell him he's in a safe space to do it. It's really uncomfortable to do something you're not used to doing. And so it's a great opportunity for growth. And I'll tell you this, there's a quiz in that book, and you can read the book together.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
Yeah, this is grow time in your marriage, girl. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Enjoy. Have fun with that. Let us know how it goes.
Okay.
Thanks for the question. Anyone else?
Okay. Yeah. Another one.
Fran, I see Fran.
Fran is here. Do you have a question? Fran, okay. I'll give. Someone asked, and then this was good because I had never looked at like filling your own love, like filling up your own love language tank and not just expecting or needing it from everyone else. So the question is, if your love language is acts of service, how do you fill your own cup?
You are talking to the queen right now. You do what you want to do for yourself. And you have that mindset when you are doing it. Acts of service for yourself is, I'm taking myself to the spa. I am taking myself to get a massage. I am taking myself to buy a new blouse. I'm going to get my nails. Working at consciously saying, I am doing this for myself. You know, I'm an empty nester, kinda. My 21-year-old daughter lives at home. And honey, I have cooked and served for 30 years. I don't think in 30 years I have sat down to a warm plate of food, because I have spent my life parenting and being a wife. And this last year, I said, I come first. And I had a talk with my family and I said, I love you people to pieces, but I am tired of cooking and serving everyone before myself. This is my year of empty nest. I am 53 years old. You are 21, darling daughter girl. You are 53, husband. You are grown. So I will cook because I love it, but I will not serve. I serve me first. So I cook and I say, I love you, Melanie. Here, let me do some acts of service for you. Here's your plate, girl. And I serve it and I sit down. And now they're serving me. Now they're like, go sit down, Mom. You finished cooking. We'll serve your plate. And I'm like, thank you. Appreciate it. So does that make sense? It's mindset.
Yeah.
It's choice.
I know personally, like as a mom and young kids, like it's that guilt too of like, well, I can't just step away. It's so easy for everyone else too. But I think, yeah, asking. And
well, you know what, Rochelle, I'll say about this, and I really believe this with all my heart. We train our children by our actions. And if we feel guilty to step away from them, we're teaching them that it's wrong for us to step away from them. So we need to teach them that it's okay for us to have alone time, just like it's okay for them to have alone time. When my kids were little, I was like, time to go in your room by yourself and close the door. Put the timer on. Do whatever you want in there. I need a break. I'm gonna go have my quality time. It's learned behavior. It's okay to stop, ladies. It's okay for us to stop. Well, there's this narrative for us women. I'm gonna age myself right now. You guys already know how old I am. You remember this commercial? I can bring home the bacon, fry it up in the pan, and never ever let you forget you're a man. No, I can't. Well, I can, but I don't want to. I don't want to. I want to do it the way I want to do it. And I have every right to do that. And I don't need to feel guilty about it. So that guilt feeling is just programming of women going from being stay-at-home moms to working moms to being ridiculed and saying it's wrong of us to work, to us trying to prove that we can do it all. We can be the best mothers ever and work and run businesses and do everything at one time, but we can't do it all at one time. We can do a little bit here and a little bit there, and we need to stop trying to tell ourselves to balance things. There's no balance. You can't balance 100 things. You can balance 3 things. You can't balance 100. So we're looking for harmony in our lives, right? So right now I'm in harmony feeding these kids and making dinner, but I'm not feeling balanced personally. So that means after the kids are fed and gone to bed, I may have to tell my husband, tonight I need a hot bath, a glass of wine, and Netflix, and don't touch me. Tomorrow we touch and kiss and we'll do all that, but today no. Or you gotta wait till Thursday. Because I just don't have it to give right now. I just don't have it to give. Help me out a little bit. And then maybe I'll be ready by Thursday. How about that? It's communication. This is what I need. I tell my male clients when I do couples coaching, the sexiest thing my husband can do for me is vacuum. Oh, when he washes those dishes, whoo, I feel the lingerie coming out. Help me out. They want to help us. They want to, but we just take it over and we do it. I had to learn to use my words to ask for what I wanted because I'm faster than him. I can clean that kitchen, do a load of laundry. I can do everything. In 15 minutes, it'll take him an hour. But let him take an hour. What do I care? You do that for an hour, I'm gonna go take a bath with a glass of wine. You handle that for an hour. I don't care how long it takes you, but I used to. Let me just do it. No, don't do that. You do it. Take as long as you, and do it wrong. You can do it wrong. I don't care. Just do it. Just do it. Let them do it. The more we let them do it, the more they'll do it. But we're our worst enemy trying to be super women because we're trying to prove that we can be balanced and have everything all in place all the time. We cannot, and there's no shame in that. And our power is in saying, I'm struggling, I'm exhausted, I need help. That's called vulnerability, and that makes us get connected to one another. If we can't be vulnerable, we can't feel each other. And so if you need help, you need a break, you got to ask for it. There's no shame in that. Don't try to be super women, okay? And love yourselves. That's the best thing you can teach your babies, to love yourselves. My grown-up children, I'm going to tell you something, one of my pride and joy. My grown-up children know how to love themselves and go for what they want in life. They're so competent. And when I talk to them about it, they're like, because of you. You're honest, you're vulnerable, you don't try to act perfect. You ask for what you want. And we learn that from you. We learn to communicate from you because you communicate. So these love languages are not just for our partners, they're for ourselves. And I think the most important person they're for first is for ourselves. So know your love language, communicate it, ask for it. And most of all, I could do a whole nother talk on this one, receive it. Receive it. We have such a hard time receiving, don't we? Receive it. Tell yourself, I'm in receiving mode. I have to be in receiving mode sometimes. And I'm not always comfortable with that, but I have to do it. And if it's hard for you, call it out. Anything that's hard for you, call it out. Okay, I'm receiving right now and it's really difficult for me, but I'm working on that. That'll make you feel better. And pretty soon you won't need to call it out. You'll just be able to do it, okay? Rochelle, was there one more question? Did Fran have something to say?
Yeah. Oh, hold on, let me unmute her real quick.
Okay. Hi, Fran.
Oops, it's not letting me unmute.
She's muted.
Uh-oh.
There she is.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I was just tagging on to what another gal said. With my husband, it's just the opposite. If something's bothering me or I'm upset about something, he has to fix it.
Yeah, that's common.
Many times at my age, your husband is usually your best friend because you're together so much, being retired.
Yeah.
Well, he can tell if something's bothering me, or even if I tell him something's bothering me, he has to fix it. And it's almost like he'll bug me to fix it. What can he do to fix it? And I just want him to, either talk to me about it or leave me alone.
Yeah.
But and then it hurts his feelings. So I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
Like this morning, I was having problems with Zoom and he was gonna fix it.
Yeah. Oh,
just leave me alone and I can do this.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I'll tell you that's really common. And my husband and I have had a lot of talks about this. It's really common because this is how my husband describes it. He says, growing up as little boys, we want to be superheroes. We tie a towel around our necks. We pretend we're Superman, but there's always a love interest. And it's our job to save her. And so when we become adults and we're in a relationship with a woman, that programming of wanting to save her comes back a lot of times. So we just want to fix things. We want to be the superhero, but we have to recognize women don't always want to be saved. So for your husband, what you could say to him is, you are an amazing partner and best friend, and I love you. But when I struggle with things, I just want to share the struggle, to have conversation, but I find so much growth and joy in solving the problem myself. Let me do it. But I love you and I appreciate that you want to do it. And then throw him a bone, throw in some things for him to fix. Hey, Babe, can you fix the front porch out there? I can't get it done. Like, let him save you in little physical ways that makes him feel like a man, and he gets to use that masculine energy, because that's what that is. But we've evolved, ladies. We're not tied to the train tracks anymore, are we? We don't need to be saved. We want to be listened to, and we want to share life experience, but we want to figure out things ourselves. And that's just their programming. They're supposed to save us. So just throw them a bone every once in a while and literally have the conversation. I have to do the same thing to my husband. He wants to get into everything that I'm doing. I'm like, I got this. I'm on top of this. I'm all over it. I got it. I'll show you when I'm done. Because I like to grow, and you don't grow if somebody does everything for you, right? So just maybe framing it from that angle, and just whatever his love language is, give it to him. It's words of affirmation. Say, I love you. I just want to do this myself because I want to learn. Or give him a hug, and just, if it's physical touch, give him a hug, wrap your arms around him, and just say, oh my God, I love you so much, and how much you want to help me and be there for me, but I want to learn this myself. So do you see how bringing the love into it when you have that conversation will change how he receives the information that you're trying to give him? That helpful? Good. I'm happy to hear it. Okay, ladies, you guys got anything else for me that you want to talk about? I am all yours. Anything Rochelle asked me to do, I'm going to do, because I love her.
Oh, no, again, amazing. Like I said, Melanie is unbelievable. If anyone, she's always genuine and here to share, but totally worth, if you're ever looking for a coach to work with. Amazing stuff. And I'm just glad you can share. We'll just do these more often. As needed. But yeah, if anyone wants to email, I'll share the recording and the reset, but this got pretty personal and vulnerable, which I loved. So we're not going to do a big public share on this. But we'll keep it within our close-knit little reset group. And I have that book too, and I need to reread it. And I just wrote all of them. In fact, in my willpower class tonight, I really think the part about taking care of our own love languages is something that isn't hit upon in any other, that was just a aha moment for me. So yeah. I know we'll all be spilling that to our people now too. So
well, I want to share this with you guys. You're a tribe, right? You're a community, and I'm going to tell you that right now in the world, we need our communities, and we need to share and be vulnerable in our communities. I started an Instagram live when the pandemic started, just to support people spiritually, and to help them to stay positive during this time. And can I tell you, it's not me doing the work, it's the people coming onto the lives, encouraging each other and talking to each other. That is so helpful. Just the way that you connect with each other is so helpful to your heart, to your mind, to your soul. So as we're going through these hard changes in the world, because the world's changing very rapidly in a very big way, you need your tribe. You need your community to be able to talk to and to be vulnerable with. And so I want to say thank you to all of you that shared here today. I know I kind of put you on the spot, but that's my favorite. My favorite is the interaction. I don't show up to push information at you. I'm here to be the love and give you the space to open your mind and heart and share with others, because your interaction helped each other, and it created a whole new conversation with each other. So please keep doing that. Conversations are important. They're so important for all of us, okay?
I could not agree more. And yeah, people just dropped off, not because of you, but Steph, who was just here, who needs all 5 languages, is going to teach Zumba right now. So I think a bunch of over to take their duties.
Well, I have another call in 5 minutes, so I love you guys.
We love you too.
Wonderful evening, and I'm so grateful for all of you. I'm grateful to you, Rochelle, for having me on here. And congratulations on your guys' reset. Keep going. You guys are killing the game. I love it.
Thank you. Love you, Melanie.
Love you too, sweetheart.
Bye, team.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.